Hi again, just having a mess around in this new painting program called paintingvr. It's quite good. I'm using it on the Oculus, the first Oculus 1, and it's quite exceptional. I've used it before, I'm just trying to get to grips with it. I coated the canvas with, I think it was the big large splatter brush, kind of gives that a randomised pattern on the canvas. I don't really know what to do with it yet, so I'm just kind of making it up as I go along. It's just a normal pointy brush. There's not a great deal of selection of brushes yet, as this is still under development, but it's absolutely, I mean, I can't complain really. It cost about £7, which is a drop in the ocean for how good it is. It's absolutely brilliant. There's a few niggly things, but I think they're going to be ironed out because this is still in development. I'm covering the background in black. I started off with the spray can, but I didn't like the effect it gave. The colour doesn't seem rich enough. So as you can see there, the spray there, it is an actual quite a good spray effect there. And the brush here is it's like a richer black. So I'm quite happy with that. I'll probably cover the whole background with that now. It will take a while. You can use different options. You've got larger brushes, rollers. And there's a blur brush here. I'll show you this blur brush here. It's quite good. So like I say, I'm just experimenting with this, seeing what the brushes that are available and what they can do. Now this is it's kind of a blending brush or a blur brush. So you pick the colour that you want and watch it. It's quite good. Look at that. It's quite transparent. So you have to go over it a couple of times to get the thickness, which is quite good. I've heard it compared to watercolour painting, and it is very similar, depending on what brush you use. And there it is now all covered in black. So that was the brushes I used to do that blur brush. So I'm quite happy with that. It's a nice dark rich black. And I've got another blur brush here. So I pick my colour and I dab it on, and this blends it all together. It does it quite well. If you take your time, you can do some really nice blending with this. I mean, it's called a blur brush, but really it just blends it all, and it's like a wet brush if you would like to compare it to watercolouring. It's like it blurs the colours across, or it adds water to them, I suppose, and you can drag the colour across, as you've seen there. So that's quite good. That little thing that raises the canvas up and down, it's a bit fidgety, so that needs a bit of work, but it's quite usable. I'm going to just block in the forehead here. I'm going to start working on a bit of the structure. I've got the hair in there. The hair was used with the blur brush. I just blocked in the colours and then kind of blended them all together using the blur brush. It's quite effective. So I'm just smoothing the colours across, getting a bit of colour in there so I can start working on a bit of structure. And you've got the light coming in from the right, which is you can bring the light and effect in from whatever angle you want it. And that again is quite fiddly. I think that needs quite a lot of work on it, using the light adjustments. And it leaves a reflection on the canvas, as you can see, which can be quite distracting. And even on your finished piece, you don't want a big kind of spotlight on your canvas. You'll see at the end, when I finished at the end, you'll see you're left with a big spotlight on your canvas. So you could do with having something to turn that off. Really, you should be able to light up, not your canvas. You want really more of a room ambience, I think, which alters the light and effects on your canvas, rather than a spotlight effect pointing at your canvas. So I'm going to start blending in, smoothing it around the neck. So I filled in a bit of random dark greys, and I'm going to smooth them out around the neck to try and give it some sort of a structural effect. I was going to go for the smoky effect in the background, but because I put the texture coating on the canvas, it wouldn't allow me to do that. So that's a note for next time. That it's very intuitive to use. It's a real easy program. It's nice to be in there, just doodling away, not a care in the world, with some music playing. By the way, there's also a mic. You've got the mic option as well on this, so you can actually talk as you're doing it. But I just normally have some music playing, and obviously I can't upload that with music playing because of copyright issues. But it's very. I can't wait for the updates to this, to be honest, because they're promising more brushes and whatnot, and different effects. So I just marked out the face, just generally a line down the centre, a line where the eyes, just to get proportions in place, and then just really put the music on, and you just go for it and do your adjustments on the way. If you do anything wrong, it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter in this actually, because there's no undo. So you just got to do what you have to do in real life and paint over it, which is it's not really a deal breaker, because if you can just revert it back to white and then paint over it, and it gives you the white black, you're back to a white canvas. Or if you save quite regular throughout doing your work, you can just overwrite what you've done wrong and go back to your original piece. So it's not really a deal breaker not having an undo or a delete. In fact, it kind of encourages you to embrace your mistakes really and work with them, which is not really a bad thing. You can see now, when you pull it down, you can get a dry brush effect. You notice that there? You just pull it down there and you can get a dry brush effect, which is quite good. It's coming together now, the proportions are there. Let's just do a bit more shading and blending it in on the top of the shoulder there. 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got about 5 brushes, but they're all quite similar in size and shape and what they do. You generally got 2 blur brushes and two brushes to put on a solid colour. As you can see now, I'm going over the textured coating I put on earlier. You can see how the paint reacts with the textures, so it does act quite good in what you'd expect in real life. So it's I'd imagine that would be good for some people to create different textures and different looks. So it's quite true to what you'd expect if you were a watercolour artist or oil painter. So I'm just putting in some random shapes here for a microphone. Put some random shades as well. Just give because the light is coming in from the side. There's a shadow there across the forehead. I'm just going to fill that in. It helps with the form, really. It helps with a bit more form, a bit of substance, a bit of solidity. There's another thing I like about this. You can just put the headset on. You can be in a world of your own, and you can get on with it with no disturbances, and you're not wasting paper. How much paper do artists waste? To keep throwing pieces of paper away, or reworking paper to they've been worked that much. The paper's absolutely ruined. So digital art is the future. Digital painting, drawing, it's the future, and you can share them instantly. And I think they're actually working on a 2-player version of this, so artists can collaborate and work together on a piece, which that'll be pretty good. That. So you can see now I've shaded in the top of the head there, the top of the forehead, and it's given it a bit of structure now. It's coming to life a bit more. So I'll just keep working that until I'm happy with it, and then I'll do the same throughout the face. But so we're not polluting the planet doing this, are we? No pigments. We're not mining for pigments and whatnot. Although we're mining for metals, aren't we, to make the headset? So to make this possible. So I suppose I suppose it evens out, really, doesn't it? But anyway, I'm saving a tray anyway by doing this. I'm saying that though. I suppose you could use recycled paper, couldn't you? Oh well, never mind. And there you can see it's quite good at the blending, really, isn't it? For like a digital art, it does it quite well. And imagine if you took your time on this, you'd get it absolutely spot on. And the room we're in as well, the actual environment's quite big as well. I've mentioned this before. And before anyone says that mouse crooked, it is crooked, but there's a reason I did it crooked. And you'll notice when I finish it, I've just blocked it in. To give me an idea where things are going to go, so I can just work on the structure of the face. You got to realise this thing is the size of a house in front of me. So it's not as if I'm on a table doing it and I can see everything relative to each other. I've got to keep moving out and coming back in and realigning things up, which is not a bad thing. It's okay really. You just learn to adjust. And the mouth, I do straighten it up, you'll see it at the end. And this took overall, I'd say about 3 hours to do this. Oh, I don't know what to work on. I might try a landscape next. So I'm picking also, you can pick the colours off your drawings. You can keep the colours within the kind of same range. So you don't have to have a palette at the side. And you see a lot of people using palettes. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you start something with let's say give yourself five shades to work with. You start with the 5 shades. You can pick the shades off your artwork. So I'm just using the roller there to cover over the. You can't really see it on the video, but there's when you move close to your drawing, sometimes you hit it and you leave marks on it. So I'm just going over where I've run into it by accident and I've left marks on it, or I've hit it with my hand or the brush inappropriately and it's caused marks in the black. So you can actually finger paint with this, by the way. You can hand paint as well. So it's quite a lot of functionality. It's coming together now. I might stick some more highlights in there as well. So as you change the lighting, the kind of lighting in the room stays the same, but you've got that reflection on the canvas. Watch, I'll show you. So you can make it go like a nice mood. You can change the mood of the painting as you've seen it there, but you're still left with that reflection on the canvas. I think there should be a function whereby you can get rid of that reflection off the canvas. I'll just put some highlights in. So that's just some pure white going in there. I've changed the lighting, the highlights have gone down, so I'm just going to strengthen them a little bit. Some of you might begin to recognise who it is. It looks a bit better with those highlights. Anyway, if you like what I'm doing, please like and subscribe. Because I've not got any subscribers. I'll put the name on the side here now. For those that don't know, it's Billy. And I've just picked the colour off the canvas. You know, rather than have it white and it's just overpowering. So there you go. So it's quite a good program, that. So I'd recommend it for anybody. Anybody that wants to get to digital art, that's into VR, I'd recommend it. Anyway, please like and subscribe. Hope you enjoy that, and bye for now.